we are going to consider another new topic under this series, and the topic is temperature and its measurements. Under this topic, the candidate should be able to differentiate between temperature scales, e.g. Celsius and Kelvin. At the same time, they should be able to compare the types of thermometers. Then, they should be able to convert from one scale of temperature to another. And then, let's quickly take note of the following. The summary of what the topic is all about. The question we should ask ourselves is, what is a temperature? Or how can we define the word temperature? In physics, temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body. The SI units of temperature is Kelvin, and it can also be in degrees Celsius. It is the total kinetic energy of a body. We are trying to differentiate between heat and temperature. Heat is the total kinetic energy of a body, while temperature is the average kinetic energy of a body. How can we measure temperature? That's another one. The temperature is measured with thermometer, the device we use in measuring the temperature of a body is what we call a thermometer. And we have different kinds or different types of thermometer. Okay? Each thermometer has two reference points, and that's where we are going now. Or reference temperature, or fixed points. We call it upper fixed temperature points and the lower fixed temperature points. Okay? We have upper fixed temperature points and the lower fixed temperature points. Let's take that of the lower fixed temperature points. For lower fixed temperature points, this is the melting point of pure ice. Now, there are sometimes we call it ice points. Lower fixed temperature points, or melting points, or ice points. It's the same thing. Okay? So this is the melting point of pure ice block at 76 millimeter of mercury at 0 degrees Celsius, or if it in Fahrenheit, it will be 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's all about the lower fixed points. For upper fixed points, it is also a boiling point of a pure water at 760 millimeter of mercury. That is, in this we are talking about 100 degrees Celsius, or for Fahrenheit, if for Fahrenheit, we'll be talking about 212 degrees Celsius. For Celsius scale, this will be the boiling point or the upper fixed point. For Fahrenheit scale, we'll be talking about 212 for the upper fixed point or for the boiling point at this value of millimeter of mercury. We are going to consider the diagram above. All these are fully explained what we are talking about the two reference points of a thermometer. The other time we are talking about the upper fixed point and the lower fixed points. This is the upper fixed points, this is the lower fixed points. This one is representing our thermometer. This is the lower fixed point, or we call it the highest point, or we call it the melting point. This is the boiling point, or upper fixed point. Okay, we are considering three different scales: centigrade, Fahrenheit, Kelvin. Okay, it is for centigrade scale. Okay, for lower fixed points, it will be 0 degrees Celsius. For upper fixed points, it will be 100 degrees Celsius. A particular value that we are having here, you can have it, we put theta. That is the value to be determined. Let's assume we have a thermometer. We dip that thermometer inside a hot liquid. A value will be read by that thermometer. And this is the value we have to determine if we are to use this thermometer. Okay? That is for centigrade. For Fahrenheit scale, the lower fixed point is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. For that of the upper fixed point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is the value to be determined. For Kelvin scale, the lower fixed point is 273, and for upper fixed point is 373, and this is the value to be determined. But there is something we call fundamental interval. What is fundamental interval? Each of them have a fundamental interval. This is the fundamental interval. In between the upper fixed point and the lower fixed point, the distance between the upper and lower fixed point is what we call fundamental interval. The distance between here and here is the fundamental interval. So also for Kelvin scale. And how do we now divide? The difference between the upper fixed points and lower fixed points is what we call fundamental interval. And this diagram have explained all about the reference points of a thermometer. That is when you are using a usual scale. Or in a case whereby unusual scale is being used, then we have this formula for our calculation. For unusual scale, will be equal to, this is, I told you that by the time we have the upper fixed point, lower fixed point, and the value is to be calculated in between, maybe before you get to the upper fixed point or above the lower fixed points. How do we get that value? Okay, we use this formula. We have L theta minus L naught. Then we have L 100 minus L naught times 100%. I will tell you what each value is standing for. This formula is very important in our calculation. This is when your unusual scale is given to you, and you have to calculate the particular value that the thermometer read. Use this formula. Okay? Where your L naught, call it L naught. S of 0, L naught is the lower fixed point. That's for L naught. What about your L100? The L100 is the upper fixed points. L theta is the reading above the lower fixed point. So once you know what each parameter is standing for, each of these parameters is standing for L naught, lower fixed point, L100, upper fixed point, L theta, the reading above the lower fixed point. And that is what we are, the reading about the lower fixed point that you have been given, that corresponds to another value. Okay? That is what all these parameters, you will see by the time we have a question to solve, you will see how it is being used. And that's that. To convert centigrade to Fahrenheit, because we can convert centigrade to Fahrenheit, okay? You can convert from centigrade to Fahrenheit, and you can also convert from Fahrenheit back to centigrade. So to convert centigrade to Fahrenheit, And vice versa, we can use this formula. Look at this formula. We have a value, not 0. This is a theta, degrees Celsius, divided by 100, all equal to theta, which is Fahrenheit, then minus 32, all divided by 180. This formula is very important. We can use this formula to convert from centigrade to Fahrenheit, and we can also use it to convert back from Fahrenheit back to what? Centigrade. So we should take note of this formula. Then right now we are going to solve some questions. Question number 1. A mercury in glass thermometer reads 20 degrees Celsius at the highest point and 100 degrees Celsius at steam point. Mind you, steam point is also the upper freeze point. It's either we have steam point, boiling point, or upper freeze point. But for that of the lower freeze point, it can be a melting point or ice point. You should take note of all those things. Okay? So a mercury in glass thermometer, it reads 20 degrees Celsius at the highest point and 100 degrees Celsius at steam point. Calculate the Celsius temperature corresponding to 70 degrees Celsius on the thermometer. Okay? In this case, this formula given to you the other time is applicable. The value we are looking for, which is equal to L theta, L naught, L